Turn this shit off.
Well, welcome to the first episode, man. Thank you so much for having us.
No worries.
Over.
Thank you for having me
in
my own house. Funnily enough,
you know what? It's absolutely no
live
problem,
and direct
mate.
from the centre of the universe.
Yes, I couldn't have picked a better first setup.
No,
straight in. Got a hella vinyl, just for the camera. Brilliant. Smoking area.
Yeah,
take one.
Yeah. There we go.
How you been, man?
Yeah, I've been all right. Just
good.
Vegetating like the rest of us, really. This is the first time I've really
seen a human soul.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, I often walk around supermarkets with a esteemed sense of hatred running through my veins at the people not wearing masks.
Yeah.
I kind of think
absolutely
those guys were they're about as helpful as bringing condoms to a fucking christening, but and also another thing. Let's get this done and out.
Straight in.
Let's get this done.
Real talk, relative issues.
Before we get too deep into it, let's get this one out of the way. People who wear their fucking masks as chin straps and walk around all smug like, beating the system. You haven't beaten the system. You're as helpful as those people that bag up their dog shit and then leave the bag there.
Lakeway, you are the perfect guest to break the cherry of this podcast with.
That's the politics out of the way.
Yeah, that's it. Let's not even talk about Boris, mate.
No, that's enough.
Yeah. Has anything positive come out of lockdown for you? Anything you've been pleased with, or?
Well, it's been a good time to be a producer. I'll say that you get a lot out of it, but the problem is you end up after being cooped up for so long running out of inspiration after a certain amount of time. So when it's going well, you're like, oh fuck it, I never want lockdown to end. This is great, and then you run out of ideas, and you're like, oh, can I go see somebody now, please? I want to move my feet again.
I found that I had an insane run of like a month of just being like, every time I went in I was like, oh my god, this is the fucking shit. And then it just snapped, and I hated everything that I stood for and everything I wrote.
But I don't know if I had this the other day, and luckily I spent a whole day like struggling pulling my hair out, but you kind of have it, you work on so much, and you have one day where you just can't get anything out, and then you go, oh, I'll just listen to what I thought was good, and you're like, that's shit, I'm a terrible person, I'm a failure, time to quit, and then like half an hour later you've actually managed to get something out, and you're like, oh, fucking amazing.
Come on.
Come on.
I beat it.
I'm back, baby. All in the space of like an hour.
So it's actually
emotional time.
It's quite a roller coaster, actually. This career, mate.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you feel like you got some good stuff underway under lockdown?
I think so. It's natural progression of things. Slightly more like
sick, man.
Not quite as with the misadventures vibe. Something a bit newer, but maybe taking inspiration from slightly. It's like that Mighty Boosh quote, isn't it? Elements of the past and the future put together to make something not quite as good as either.
I like it, mate. I like it. Makes sense. It does. So, like, keeping on the topic of lockdown and Corona and stuff, have you had much thought about how it's gonna impact everything?
Well, as soon as lockdown happened,
scary.
I just went, well, illegal raves, they're going to become, lo and behold, which, not really.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit of a wormhole, a rabbit hole.
I would absolutely love to play one.
I think it would be sick. I kind of think, it's the standard things of raves, just like, or the free pies, just fucking pick up after yourselves. If it turns into natural selection, natural selection. Fuck it, that's on them guys.
Mate, especially NOS canisters, they're just the most like intrusive thing to see in nature. Just like this metal tampon. This 2020 tampon. Like.
It's just like, they just. Yeah, there's something about that, and also I find of the littering. I don't know if there's much littering going on. It's a bit of a strange topic to get suddenly so.
Yes, mate. But let's just roll. Let's just roll with it.
One thing that I've noticed with littering is they always choose shit drinks. Dance as you hear it, pump up the volume. Dance with the speaker till you hear it blow. Dance as you hear it, pump up the volume. Dance as you hear it.
So like. Even though obviously we haven't, have you missed out much with Corona? Like going on to.
Well, I was supposed to play a gig in May in Bristol, back to back with Samurai Breaks, which I was really looking forward to because that guy's fucking wicked.
Did you have any tools in the arsenal ready for it?
Yeah, we were talking about it. We were even getting a couple of like collabs together and that, which may or may not have lost one of the project files for. Sorry, Sam. But I'm sure we can salvage it or sell it as a dub. A lost dub, as some people seem to do these. Oh, my hard drive's corrupted. I'll just put it on Bandcamp as a lost dub. No, that was really good. But that's been postponed till October, which I'm still not all that confident about, given the way that I think I'll just hedge my bets and say nothing's happening this year. But
that way you don't get let down.
Yeah, exactly. But apart from that, I just sort of not so much on the booking side because I think it's like a good time in my career to maybe take a step back and go, oh, would I like to pursue maybe sort of a more live element to it?
Cool,
How would I translate it to that? Maybe audio visual stuff rather than... Yeah, because you see me DJing and as you know, I like to move.
I know. Mate, actually... Funny you mention that because the first time I ever met you was my first ever gig, my first ever DJ set, and I was playing after you. And
where was it?
It was Flavour D at Phoenix. It was nothing.
Ooh, wow! That's a
long time ago.
Bloody hell, yeah.
And mate, I was on after you, and I remember.
Must have been a good night.
Yeah, fucking too right. I literally watched your energy and I was shitting myself. I came up there, I was just like
right
yeah, stressing out, and Lakeway is just pure energy, just throwing limbs like and I was like, mate, this guy knows how to do it. And then I actually remember I turned up and the fucking play button wasn't working on one of the CDJs and the sheer panic that just came over me, and I was like spamming the play button.
Stand here with my finger on cue for the whole fucking tune.
Like just finding anyone to help me with this. But I think in the end, I got through.
I do not. There's a legal disclaimer. I do not recall whether or not I broke that play button. I would have thought I'd noticed something like that. Hopefully, it'll be something I pointed out to you afterwards, or unless it was on a third or fourth deck, and I was feeling. Slightly
I think luckily there was.
There's always I find this a lot of gigs I play. There's always like a fourth deck, which like three decks that's usually fine. Sometimes the third deck's a little bit wobbly, but there's always a fourth deck which is clearly just like the run to the litter.
Exactly. That's just like
that's
pristine,
just like slightly dodgy. I find that with a lot of there's always one deck which weren't quite born right.
Yeah, literally the run to the so true. Have you ever had any fucking disasters on the stage, or like any?
I've not so much a disaster. I've had a few like uncomfortable experiences with people coming behind the decks and maybe getting a little bit
frisky.
There are some. There's one thing I can think of where if genders were reversed, she would not be allowed in that venue again.
Understood. Say no more. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been not so much disaster. There was one gig I played where the CDJs weren't linked, and also if there was too much like wobble on the stage, one of the USBs would connect.
Oh,
so you had
emergency loop.
You had basically you just had to become a selector rather than a DJ for the evening, which was interesting. Yeah, but apart from that, I don't think that.
That's all right, mate. Well, we won't.
I don't think there are no deaths or anything like that. You know.
Any injuries? No.
No, not that I know of. If anyone has experienced, or I'm not saying claim compensation or anything.
Well, you are
You're more than welcome to let me know.
Yeah. Have you ever been injured at work?
Yeah. You may be eligible for rave insurance,
mate. Right, write that down.
Pattern that shit.
Yeah. Premiums on
Oh, imagine the fucking flyers handed out at the end of events.
Were you involved in a K-hole? That wasn't your fault. Oh dear.
Stick as a tune on, mate.
Okay. You insist.
Yeah. Oh, sick, man. I really enjoyed that. Like, it's interesting. The first two tunes we've heard, like, I've instantly heard your kind of like connection to them in a way. And like, we were listening to some of your stuff on the way down here, and it just has that similar, like, just almost like did not expect that. I did not expect that.
A big jarring breakdown.
Like, what? Yeah, and just, mate, like, talk to me about the thought process and that. I feel like your tunes are quite an expression of yourself, like your personality, and because I know you, obviously, I feel like I have had those thoughts. Like, talk to me about that kind of creative process. Like, is it?
I guess what you mean with like the stuff switching up a lot and that. I guess that's also to keep me as interested as in producing the tune as it is. Like that sort of stuff, I don't particularly go, oh, this is going to be really interesting to listen to. I just sort of go, this ain't a song yet, but I'm fucking sick of that 16 bar loop. Time to switch it up.
Change. No, that makes perfect sense.
But I don't think there's any strict process. I feel like generally, if I have an idea in mind, I'm like, I want this to sound great on the dance floor, I'll pick a key, but maybe have just like the first chord of that key, so I sort of know what I'm dealing with theory wise, and then do the drums first and foremost. That's if it's one I'm just like, today I'm going to make a tune that's going to sound fucking wicked out of sound system. Because obviously dance to the beats, what you do. But if it's something a bit more abstract, usually I'll just start with sound design. Throw a few ideas out there, and chuck some shit at the wall and hope it sticks.
Boom. we were listening to. It's like funny this come up. We were listening to Jay Dilla on the way down as well.
Yeah.
Showing donuts.
Oh, I fucking love that. I've got it in there somewhere.
Oh, it's sick,
It's
mate.
such a sick
And
album.
a similar concept, just like the change-ups and the uncertainty of it, and like
I think that's probably like not that my knowledge of like purely instrumental hip hop runs as deep as perhaps it should, but that is definitely a favourite like all-time hip hop album.
Man.
I got to mention like Quasimodo as well.
I did spot that.
Yeah.
Yes, bro. How the fuck did you say that?
I was like, I'm not spot that more.
Yeah.
I guess it's because it's more instrumental led than vocal led, which is probably why it appeals to me more as a producer, because I can't do my own vocals for shit, and then I have to try and get vocals from someone. It takes ages, and I just using a sample pack.
Yeah, Splice doesn't cut the mustard, mate.
I've started using Splice recently, actually.
I fucking rate it, man.
I quite like it. It's quite good for vocals. But the main thing is people that go, oh, you shouldn't sample stuff. Well, sorry, mate. Not all of us have the money to buy fucking session musicians.
Yeah, literally.
Not all of us can afford to hire out an orchestra.
Mate,
I prick.
There we are. You heard it fucking here, mate. That argument has been settled.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, mister. I've got too much money. You can hire a fucking violinist.
I like, especially what we were listening to earlier with Dilla, mate. That is literally what he bases his whole fucking.
Well, it's all just
and
like
it's
samples
so creative and it's so like
door samples.
Take things and make something.
Something completely interesting in its own thing
and
like
relevant still. Like
you're still there. Like, oh, I know that bit. Where's that from? And you go into who sampled, and you're like, oh, this song's made out of like. I knew I noticed that little drum fill, but I didn't realise. No, Dilla's fucking like. Or was, I suppose I should say, fucking nuts. That Donuts album. I remember fucking straight after a breakup, I was just like wandering around town, like looking for shit to distract myself, and I was like, fuck it, Urban Outfitters. Like, I've looked in HMV, couldn't find anything.
Urban Outfitters, mate.
Fucking went in another shop, couldn't find anything. Urban Outfitters, why not? A final little shot in the dark. Found J Dilla Donuts, bought that.
Sorted,
fucking,
You got some little gems.
It's definitely, I find.
You sift through it's mainly like Beyonce.
It's
Or Life After Death, Biggie Smalls.
There'll be always be some sort of gem in there. But when I'm walking through town and see Urban Outfitters, even after that experience, I never think, oh, wouldn't it be good to do some vinyl digging in Urban Outfitters? Even though I know they sometimes actually have going off that example anyway, some actually really interesting stuff in. I'm still just like, why am I going into a clothes shop to buy fucking vinyl? This is like weird, man.
Just come out with a pair of dungarees instead.
Welcome to Ace Rodney, the talks for the superstars. Tonight, once again, the incredible.
Going back to talking about like influence and stuff.
Yeah.
Where did it start, mate? Where did it all start?
Right, this is
take us on the Lakeway River Path journey.
The fucking journey.
The way
right.
of the lake.
Probably started like I was quite a metalhead to begin with when I was like 11, 12, 13. And then I remember going on holiday to France with my cousins, and one of them, I remember having, I don't know if you had them, do you remember those really shit MP3 players that were like a USB? They were like 1 gigabyte and they were like a USB stick.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I've got some stuff for you, and put on a load of Enter Shikari.
I've got some gear.
Yeah, and that sort of...
Oh my God, I loved Enter Shikari, mate, so much. I think this is a story a few people might be able to relate to that's probably gone through the same... like path as me, and I remember like just loving Enter Shikari, loving all the Shikari, man.
That was like my introduction, personal introduction anyway to electronic music, even though it wasn't specifically electronic music. It was certainly an influence. And then I wanted to be in that sort of
Sick,
band
man.
and
That's
that,
fucking,
and then realised actually being in an anti-Shikari copycat band is not an original idea. I remember then I saw them playing at Plymouth Pavilions, and True Tiger was supporting.
I've not heard of True Tiger, but
I can't remember who it was. I think it was Souk Knight. I think he had...
Mad. What? Really?
Yeah, the dubstep guy.
Oh,
not
not
the rap manager. Not that guy. No,
okay. Yeah, it's like
I think,
isn't he like a mass murderer? Mate, speaking of films, I think I spoke to both of you about this, but fucking Uncut Gems.
Yeah,
what
it's just like...
What you actually suggest?
Yeah.
Stressful, like... I don't even...
Yeah.
A film has never, like, given me those kind of emotions before. Of just pure, like... Oh my God, like...
I think
just every time.
I think Midsummer came kind of close with the whole just discomfort.
Yeah, that's it. It's discomfort, isn't it?
But
like,
I don't know if you've seen the is it the Safdie brothers who directed? Yeah, and their other film, Good Time.
Yeah,
that is fucking so good. I almost prefer that one just because of the whole almost like acidy influence. All of it. It's like a bit more. It's a weird film because I remember when I watched it a second time, I remember it being like a bit more abstract and trippy. Like,
because of the lighting.
Yeah, and like the whole fairground bit where you're just like, this is cool. Yeah. So,
one of the best reveals in that is when he realises he hasn't got his brother when he thinks he's got his brother. I'm trying to give anything away.
Don't worry, please carry on.
Yeah, because it is just one of the best reveals I've ever seen in a film.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Something about A24 just seems to be like most things they release, even if it doesn't appeal to my personal taste necessarily, you can at least appreciate that everything they do is usually something that hasn't necessarily been done.
Midsummer, A24.
Yeah, because it was the same guy who did Hereditary. Yeah.
Which again, stressful.
Any A24 horror. It's just
despite how stressful for it, like it was a memorable experience, like a memorable film. Like,
Uncut Gems. Yeah. I still think the whole shtick with the door is some of the best writing I've ever.
So you're just almost shouting at the telly.
Yeah. And you sort of know what's going to happen. You know? But it's such a good plot device. In fact, I think it's one of the best, like, not inanimate, but like, you know what I mean? Just like an object that's a plot device, like a mundane object that becomes such an integral part to how the story unfolds. And I was just like, yes, that is
lovely.
The one. Yes.
Very nice.
Anyway, where were we regarding?
I think we can move on. To be honest. No. To be fair, we actually never got to the source of D&B.
The source of D&B. Well, there's still. I've got written down there Casper and Roscoe, Fabric Life 37, specifically Cockney Fug, so we can stick that on a bit later.
Sorted. Yeah. Look forward to that.
Yeah. I kind of think that was one. I think a lot of people found that was one of the main things that sort of turned me. Like you type in dubstep on YouTube, like dubstep HD free download or whatever your fucking 13-year-old nitty self would do.
Literally,
But I think Fabric Life 37, that was definitely one of the first.
Sick, man.
Yeah. like especially that Cockney Fug tune. That was
Yeah.
a fucking belter.
Right up there,
Yeah.
mate. Right up there.
Yeah, it's even
I like
still like a lot of that stuff is just like it's almost almost like they.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Set the bar too high
Yeah.
too early.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
I sort of maybe.
Would you class yourself as a D&B producer?
I don't know. That's a weird one. I think with D&B, I sort of got into it through dubstep. Like a lot of people around my age probably did when that whole
move your mic a bit close to you, sorry, mate. Is that alright?
Yeah, bro.
That'll do.
There we go. Nice and
Sorry to interrupt.
That's alright. No, I seem to remember finding out about Pendulum and being like, this is quite cool because it sort of also appealed to the more rocky side that I was still very much involved with. But then I saw them at the same venue I saw Enter Shikari, and lo and behold, Sub Focus was supporting, and that was the first time I'd ever seen Sub Focus, and I was just like, he finished his set, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, shit, I'm done, I can leave now.
Right. I'm happy, man.
It was. I don't know if you ever saw it, but it was when he did his big
tunnel, mate.
Big tunnel thing. Yeah, that was it.
Like it's like a portal, like
that was it, and it almost looks like a big. It almost looked like a massive weird xylophone, but then it lit up.
Maybe that's what it was.
Like maybe when it's not lit up, he's like,
ding, 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 little test to get a tuning in them.
Yeah. I seem to remember that's how I got into D&B. Then I guess it all becomes a bit blurred, and I got quite into like Spore and particularly those lifted
Spore.
music podcasts. Chris, what was his name? Oh shit! What? I might have to Google.
Fact check.
Lifted Records. It was Chris something. He was also a producer, but did all the podcasts. What was this fucking? I can't remember. Fuck it. Sorry, Mr. Lifted Podcast man, but it wasn't Spore. It was the guy who ran Lifted. Breed 12 inches. He also ran, I believe. I just cannot remember the guy's name for the.
Absolutely no problem at all. Yeah, we'll get there.
Onwards.
Yeah, onwards, mate.
But I think that's the point where I started going more from. Well, I started doing my own discovery, I suppose, into it. Maybe some of that came off, what's it called, Andy C Nightlife compilations, and I just went from there. But that's where the whole like journey of discovering it stops becoming the journey of discovery, I suppose, and becomes a little bit. Well, I don't remember the specifics so much beyond that.
No.
I think you could probably tell if you listen to my tunes, the sort of tunes I was releasing.
Mate,
probably
interesting you saying that because I've said it about fucking 23 times, but elements of these tunes I just like it's actually really interesting to listen to your music and actually know the fucking source of it as well, like
cheers, man. You said that sort of reference without pure imitation, because I think like you can, a lot of people's music, you listen to it like, I see where they got that from, but they've done their own thing with it. And then you go on maybe certain Facebook groups and you go, well, what you've done, you've listened to this, gone, I can make that, and then
literally just
changed the fucking
copy
notes,
and pasted it,
changed the key.
Hey, I read one of your, I think it was DJ Mag or UKF interview, and that was interesting quote from you that you just didn't want to recycle any sounds at all, and like.
Well, that is very hypocritical of me, of course, with
because
the whole
sample
with all the grime square waves and that. But
I get what you're saying, but also I don't think there's anyone that sounds like you particularly.
No, it's interesting. Also, getting stuff sent to me where people have been like without trying to sound big-headed or anything like that. Mate. People do send stuff to me, and they're like, "Oh, you've been an inspiration," and you can hear that kind of. They haven't copied me, but they've certainly taken the more grime UK bass sort of side of things.
Any shout outs? Any tunes you've been sent that you think?
I'd have to do some. I'm not this well prepared.
No, not a problem. Not a problem. Any up and comers you like?
There is a guy. This is unrelated to what I was just talking about, but there's a guy called Itty, I think, who's just done the new "Are We Really Alone," which is of course.
Big up Itty.
Yeah, I think I wrote it down in the promo, response, but just the bass line on the third tune sounds like the fucking end of days, man. It's like it's not in your face. It's just got this overwhelming sense of dread to risk sounding like Super Ants.
Like Uncut Gems.
yeah. It's a bit like Uncut Gems, yeah. In terms of that, it's interesting hearing people say you've inspired me.
Man, that's
it's cool. It's
mate,
cool.
That is like a tick off the list. Putting out your sounds and inspiring and giving
exactly. And it's also quite nice that, like, obviously the people that inspired me a lot, like Rockwell, to now just sort of
just be
feel more like a peer than a fanboy. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Not that I've experienced.
Not that I'm comparing myself to them in like success or anything, but just to like work with people like Rockwell that is after looking up to someone like that for so many years.
Absolutely, I think
that kind of
important.
That's one of the things that it's like actually have succeeded in a way here.
That leads me on nicely.
Whether I have enough money to buy food for dinner, I've still fucking done that.
Still got the weed though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that leads me on nicely to actually say, like, do you have any like definitive ideas of success, or like what is there an end goal? I know it's such a hard question, but like,
I think
is there.
I think the goal is to not become part of the rat race. Yeah. Like, okay. I think that's like as much as I do it for myself and for the love of it, it's also I've sort of obviously with all the hospitality stuff, I've gotten into the sort of like more career path of it, and it's just like making that work. The ideal scenario is just become a fucking rock star, basically. Yeah, mate. Just sit in this very chair, waiting for the royalties to come in.
Trust me.
No, it's a weird one. Like, I'm not sure how to do. I think everyone like saying that you could have seen as like your greatest achievement 2 or 3 years ago may just seem like an average thing now, and it's all about just riding with it, and if it ends, just
and growing and
jump off
forward.
the shit before it sinks, I suppose.
Too right. Yeah. Sick, man. Do you have any do you have anything going on apart from the music? I know you mentioned the career aspect.
This is sort of like part of the issue, because I've sort of like dedicated my life to this, and now I find myself in a situation where the income may not have been as good as it has been. Or
do you believe it won't get back to that?
I think that would be shit, because it would be just the idea of achieving your dream, like peaking too early. I suppose that's something that does scare me quite a lot, and especially with the whole being signed to hospital thing and playing all these festivals, all that business. Well, that was a lungful.
Yeah. It's all right, mate.
It's a weird one. It's a scary one, but you just gotta go, oh shit, like, because I've sort of like lived my dream for a bit, and then what happened, and without getting too far into that, now it's a bit like almost feel like I have to achieve my dream again in many ways. But once you've already done that once, but that also in many ways is very freeing. It's because you've like, I've done that. Yeah. I've drum bass, completed it, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. 140 EP coming out.
Yeah. I'm coming in now, right?
No, definitely, mate. That is a really interesting thought, actually, but.
It definitely makes you feel more confident with going, mate, actually, fuck what people think.
Yeah,
not that I've ever worried about that too much, but
is that something you worry about? Obviously, you're a non-conformist. You are unique in your sound.
Yeah.
Does that worry you in a way? Is that like as much as I want you to have that sound because it's you and it's sick. Like, there is this money side of it.
I think it's the kind of stuff people either like it, or just sort of ignore it and listen to what they do like, unless they own a YouTube account. Fucking hell, man. I almost, the more people you piss off in the YouTube comment section with a piece of art or music you've released, the better I feel about myself, because I go, actually, I've released this bit of like quite actually a lot of people like it. A lot of people say it's more interesting than maybe some of the other stuff being released at the moment. Then you got this fucking prick. And one of my favourite things to do is do background checks on these people. Okay. And usually, I think there was one on, I think it was my tune Shimmering, which came out on a Hospital on the Beach compilation. I went through the comments on there, which, if you're an upcoming producer, that's my biggest advice. Never fucking check the YouTube comments, because for some reason YouTube is more savage, a lot more savage than anything else.
It is.
I saw this guy's like, oh, how the fuck did Tony let this through? This is awful. And I checked his YouTube video, and it was just like a load of 10-second videos like chemtrails above London, government in action. I was just like, okay, suddenly I'm not offended.
Yeah.
And more often than not, these people are. This is quite a tangent to go on from the original question, but not that I manage success of YouTube comments or anything like that. But it's good. I don't know. It just brought me onto that. It's fucking weird, man. I feel like I definitely make Marmite music. Like, the people that like it seem to really like it, and I love them to bits, and they're like always supporting. But the people that don't like it often seem to feel the need to go out of their way to tell me that, and it's a bit like that. Do you? Mate, at the end of the day, I'm the one who's released a tune, and you're the one crying about it. Why don't you just try and find a real fucking hobby?
Mate, imagine the effort that someone has to go to listen to a piece of music and be that like annoyed by it. It's
like, well,
they don't understand the concept of music, surely. Like,
I think they're just quite sad people,
of course,
really. I think they have very little going on in their lives, to be honest. And this is what I said, it's always fun to do a background check, because more often than not, you'll be a little bit offended and go, whatever, it's YouTube. And you go, actually, I'll do a little bit of research on you, you fucking prick. And you'll be like, I guarantee as soon as you click on their profile, you'll just be like, oh, I'm not actually offended by this. This is hilarious.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you for making me feel better about myself. By means of an insult. That is a creative compliment.
Also, mate, I think your next EP should be called Marmite Music.
Yeah. I'm up for that. Marmite Music, Well, after that, actually, I was about to talk about Australian trade deals.
Whoa.
Oh dear, rewind.
Copyright. Yeah, nice. So, like, I don't even know where we got to there, but
no, I think
I really enjoyed
something about what inspires me. Maybe
it was success, wasn't it? It was success, like,
how do you measure success? I think the only way I can summarize it for me personally is if I can turn it into I don't know. It's so weird because I've got to eat. I've got to make a living out of it, and this is like my thing. This is what I've dedicated my life to. Don't necessarily have any other qualifications. I've just been doing this since secondary school all the way through. So like success. I've felt success, but I feel like true success is being able to live comfortably off it. Not like buying fucking sports cars or anything like that. Just to pay the rent and have a little bit over for a gram of weed or something.
Mate, fucking
that's how I'd think of it.
Absolutely.
If I had enough to like pay rent, made enough for it to like pay monthly rent on my own place and just like pay for groceries and nothing extravagant, just to fully survive off without any.
That's answered it perfectly, mate.
Any fucking donations from the Chancellor.
I genuinely believe that most artists would say that. I think it's if you can live comfortably off it, and when it's not that, when it becomes more than that, I think it could possibly be starting to take away from the art of it. And
and also there's the second opposite of that, where it's generally, if you look at cultural history, particularly over the last 2 or 3 decades in England, particularly, poverty does breed culture.
Very true.
Very
true. Yeah. Well said. This is fucking prime material.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
You have to sample some of this.
Right.
Time
for a tune, right?
Time for a tune. Stick this on. Big culprit tune on Inspected. And like just sound design through the fucking walls, mate. Proper good shit.
Mate, I really enjoyed that. As you were saying, sound design
through the fucking roof. It almost makes me feel like less of a man.
What is your sound design process? Are you a sound design guy? Are you a vibe guy? A sound design guy?
That's a very very good question, and I feel like it's very hard to reference which
true.
I am, because I think the most important thing is like having a good melody, because you get some people that just make really like well produced bass lines, but it's one note, and you get tired of it after like absolutely. 8 bars.
It sounds the sonic's incredible.
But then it's not, and it sonically it's incredible, but musically it's really hard, I find, to find a balance between that, and it also completely goes what sort of song you're trying to do. If you're I find if you're trying to say highs and lows or something, I didn't exactly go in too hard on the sound design there, but it made up for it, I like to think, with the whole anthematic like sort of like vibe to it. It was like a good
they do go hand in hand,
right. It's best when it's like that, when it's not only incredible sound design but also incredible musically, which is what everyone should try and aspire to be, I suppose. Do
you sound design wise, are you like synth heavy? Are you like have you got any hardware?
I've got a Virus C that don't get used quite as much as it should, because it I don't know. I don't really feel like I can get anything out of hardware that I can't get out of software. I can just spend, like, I get the whole tweaking a hardware synth for hours and hours, and that's fun to have a jam on. But if you're actually trying to come up with a structure for a song, I'm one of those people that likes to get like the basis of a song done quite quickly, and then I might add some hard synths. So I'll get like the structure of the song done with soft synths, and then just worry about the intricate bits later.
What's your go-to?
Oh shit. Iris by Isotope, that's a good one, especially for more like textural. Well, it's a granular synthesizer. You get what's on the packet. I guess Serum's just like for
bog standard.
I've got like all the square waves I use. That is a patch I made in, I think it's Simpler in Ableton, just like one long C note recorded out the virus of 2. So all the square wavy stuff is from Hardware. Usually a lot of Reese's will be in Serum, and then a lot of the texture, well, it could be anything.
Interesting. And are you a simple start processing, or more, of a odd wavetables and
it's just like I said, it depends on what tune you're going for. Half the time you might make a very basic re-space, use that for like you've been producing this tune for like working on it for like a week or so. So you started on Monday. It sounds good. It sounds like a fairly normal wobbly like 2 sine waves detuned, and then you go on Friday. You go, oh, what if I change one of the oscillators? What happens there?
Just click the arrow.
Just click the arrow a few times.
You just need a randomizer button on it, really.
Yeah. Oh, mate, every synth should have a fucking randomizer.
A dice, mate.
Just a randomizer on. Why?
Serum, if you're listening.
Yeah, come on. Xfer or whatever they're called. Not a native instrument. So I haven't tried that Massive X thing, but.
Mate,
I think Massive became a bit. I know Serum's no better, but Massive was one of those things where you were in like college and people were like, "Oh yeah, you've tried Massive. You got Massive, bro. You got Massive, bro. You got Massive. It's so sick."
Was it useful for anger vent?
Fuck knows. I'm not sure what happened there. It's interesting talking about that stuff, because I had a little chat and some people like, oh, do you still want these tunes up? Because they're not, let's be honest, well, I said great, but I'm not necessarily embarrassed by them, because I think it's really important for people to go back and go, oh, where are you listening? Oh, look how much he's improved. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you're saying.
It's like part of the history, no matter how shit it
Do you have any funny smoking area experiences, or if failing that, just any funny stories, experiences, just as an artist, DJ, like?
Ooh, right.
Any funny?
That's.
You don't have to name drop if you don't want.
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna say I did an interview for, I think it was UKF with Dave Jenkins for my 3 greatest misadventures. So rather than repeat what I said there in terms of smoking area incidents and meeting funny people, I don't know the guy's name, so I don't have to name drop.
Sorted then. No
but
problem.
There was this guy at Hospital on the Beach, and he came up to me after my set, and he was like, he had his shirt signed and everything. And he was like, oh, do you want to sign my shirt? And I was like, oh yeah, sure, mate, sure. And he's like, oh, I think your music's shit, but you're the only person I don't have. You're the only person I don't have written on my shirt.
Were you like mid-side?
I just laughed it off at the time. I was just like, whatever, man. That's a bit weird to like come up and say that to someone, but we're all a little bit fucking twisted here, like twisted us in off our rockers. So I don't really. I'm not gonna get all offended, am I? I'm just gonna laugh and go, oh yeah, whatever, man. On your way. But then I think it was in either Prague or Amsterdam. I saw him again, and he was like, oh, do you remember what I said about you last time? And it was like, I was wrong. Your music's beautiful. Yeah, so that to me, like, that's a good story, because the guy has a fucking like a redemption arc. Yeah, he's got a proper character arc. That's what you need from a good story.
He's gone home after Hospitality on the Beach, and he was like, that wasn't very nice.
Yeah, I must right my wrongs. And then he became the Darth Vader chucking the Emperor down that fucking hole. Now that is a redemption story, mate.
Straight up.
That's one I've never really told anyone before, apart from the whole
exclusive. Going off like just fat tunes up in the dance. Do you have a favourite tunes to play at festival? Well, not festival,
even,
just
anywhere.
out. What
I
is
think
playing out? What's your go-to?
I think because I think this is probably because it's still a dub, and maybe that adds that whole extra element of like, yes, mate, to playing it out. But
you don't have this. I do.
Yeah. And it's like, well, you ain't gonna hear this. Well,
not that.
Not that. No. Well, yeah. I think it's just like, yeah. I think it's also like my prized dub, which is like,
sick.
I've got a few dubs, but this is one that's. I don't think. I'm not sure it'll ever. Obviously,
ever see the light, don't you?
From what? Yeah. I'm not sure. It's not something I've like to comment on as to why. I think it's a fucking sick dub though, and I'm quite happy for it to remain a dub. I'll just put that out there.
Do many people have it?
I think at this point probably, well, a lot of people that run in the same circles that I do have it. So that's like Daft by fucking Hieroglyphics and Fixate. Yeah, and that is like,
big up
when in doubt, fucking burst that one out. Yeah. Bars.
Nice, mate.
Yeah. So
I was going to ask him.
Yeah, I think another one in terms of my tunes is Bus It by me and Rockwell. That is one, especially after that boat party.
Sick.
That is the one.
Yeah, mate, talk to me about the boat
party, man. That's got to be,
is that
like,
your favourite? Yeah.
That's I mean, a close second would be Amsterdam, but any of those Hospital on the Beach sets, they've always been. I always find the more into Europe you get, the more people are up for listening to slightly more experimental shit.
I completely agree. Yeah, mate. I completely agree. As I've been to Let It Roll twice, and you know what they're like with their Neuro over there, and Neuro, mate, is experimental with the sound design and just like the level.
Especially with people like Joe Ford and that. Where is the sun? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. And mate, through the sound systems there are fucking outrageous, mate. Like you cannot hear for a week until you come home, and hearing this, like, it was really nice for the more, experiment. Well, not even experiment, just stuff you don't get in the UK. To be in that collective crowd of people
it's
going off to
interesting,
it,
especially with that more neuro funky sound. I don't really ever see. Well, it seems like a bit of a weird comment at the moment, saying, "Oh, I don't really see a set because I see no fucking nights at the moment." God. Jesus! And I bring it back to reality.
No. It's outside the centre of the universe.
Yeah, fucking plague Britain.
Oh dear.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I can't help but think, and this is the last I'll say of it, there's going to come a point in the next 10 years where we all go, oh, do you remember lockdown? Wasn't that actually quite nice and comfortable and easy to deal with?
Remember the not having stress?
Yeah. Do you remember like before some nuclear war got fucking
society got turned. I'm sorry.
It got fucking fried out of the frying pan and into the void.
There's actually not that much distance between both those things, the frying pan
and the void. Yeah. Cooking just got real philosophical. What were we talking about?
I was actually about to ask you about your favourite set ever.
Well,
and I think you might have hinted a little bit.
I think we started talking about Europe mainly.
Yeah,
didn't we?
fucking Europe. Mate. Can't remember what.
Oh no! It was no matter the further, because obviously I'd say my three favourite ever sets were the second time in Croatia, that second year after I'd properly signed to med school. It was part of that med school boat party and on the med school. Yeah. And then Amsterdam as well. That was another highlight. And obviously that final med school night at in Prague. Yeah. That was another highlight.
Was graduation? Or is it classed as a graduation? Or was that just the NDP?
For some, maybe.
Yeah. Hit the symbol.
Hey! Yeah. No, that was like, they were just like, oh, it's the last med school party.
Did it go off?
Oh, it was beautiful.
you gonna do when he comes to you? Where you gonna run once he comes to you? Where you gonna hide the day he says to you and he questions you? I wonder what you gonna say when the day comes.
You somebody!
I bet the Prague gang fucking go off to you. You've got that difference.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, I don't know.
heavier.
I just find it more so in England, but like in England, the people that love it will stay, and the people that don't love it, well, like I said, it's often Marmite music, and it's very hard to keep them in.
yeah.
Whilst still, going in.
Being you,
Yeah,
being as an artist,
I think that's a big part of it, and like you don't, like I understand the job of a DJ is to enjoy the crowd,
Absolutely,
but I don't know. I guess if you see it more as a producer, being an artist, however pretentious that may sound.
No, but it is. You are trying to.
Yeah, just like just be a individual, I suppose. Yeah, that's probably the best way of putting it, and just being like, well, yeah, this is how I'm gonna look unique. So if a few people leave, fuck it. But I find that happens a lot more in England than like Amsterdam. I played fucking Igloo Ghost, and there was some geezer doing the worm on the stage. Wouldn't fucking get that in Bristol, right?
You
know what I mean? You play motion.
Mate, you're just gonna have to do it yourself.
Just like I said, the people that love it, they stay and support you, but you may not necessarily keep the bulk of the crowd that was on there watching who was on stage before you in England. Whereas in Europe, they all seem to just be like, maybe the pills are stronger, man.
You know what? They probably are. And they're probably more fucking pure.
Well, Amsterdam. Maybe that's why the geezer was doing the worm on the stage to Igloo Ghost. He was just... He just ascended to the higher plane of existence, man. Like... That fucking bug thief sent him off.
he was not intentionally doing that.
No. He was possessed by Igloo Ghost himself.
Talking about earlier when I remember when I watched you play that set, you managed to fucking deliver Lakeway sewn with fucking tunes that would bring people back, it was really interesting to watch. Like, and you'd get quite dance floory, and then you would drop a like old school banger, and then
that's
fucking
it.
Like.
I think it's interesting when I watched like this is in no way any criticism of these two types of sounds. I like both for their own respective purposes, but I kind of think the more liquidy, like especially more, I suppose, commercial side of that. I suppose that's almost sounds more trance inspired, whereas a lot of the roughage,
melodies to it,
and those like big like saw stack synths and that like sort of almost clinical perfection about it in terms of production, whereas like the more jungly breakbeat inspired stuff, that sounds more rave inspired. But if you can sort of mix those two together, I think you're going to keep most people quite happy. Like,
I'd agree.
Generally, like if I see a drum bass set, I basically just play out what I want to see while I'm playing out. And
do you plan sets or
within reason? Like I think that what I often do, I plan a set, get about halfway into it, and I've realised, oh shit, I've mixed really quickly. I've still got like 40 minutes left. And like,
I've run out. You've got the playlist and you're at the bottom.
Because I'm one of those people. This is probably why I move so much when I'm DJing, because I feel like I always need to be doing something. I don't like just. This is why I find doing back-to-backs quite difficult, because I find 3 tunes, you're just going wild, loving it, and then you're just standing there like a lemon for 3 tunes. Like,
mate, I have a really I think your movement is much better than my bad habit of knob twizzling for
imaginary
no reason whatsoever. I just can't be doing nothing, and it's really like subconscious. And I'm just
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
EQ, and I watch back. I'm like, I don't even move.
You just like filter out the kick drum for one bar. Like, that'll get them.
Yeah.
Cool. See what I have there.
The power.
I am a techno DJ. Slight filter. Oh, he's fucking done that, hasn't he? Oh Jesus, stand by.
Well, mate, I think we have all the material I need.
Oh, we could keep. I'm happy to keep going for a while, but I just don't know what about. Like,
I think I'm happy that we've done just over 2 hours. It's been fucking sick to talk to you, man. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Yeah, good. Thanks for coming round,
mate. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries. Feel free to whatever.
I think that on that note, sucks.